Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Saturday session this 28th of March. And it's very nice to see a young lot log in to understand how they can manage their money. And it would be very interesting for us to share some very basic tips to ensure that, you can manage your money nicer. So holidays, gadgets, financial freedom, and me. And this is something for the generation Gen Z, a smart webinar on how money and life can be looked at for the youth aged 18 to 25 years today. So what is it that the youth of today want? So they have a fear of missing out. They have pressure, peer pressure, social media pressure, and money stress. And what is the reality of all this? Your friends are making trips, they're posting stories, everybody can see. You can also see, and you're stuck with the feeling of, am I missing out? So is the fear of missing out really real? People around you are upgrading to gadgets while you are still using an older version. And your colleagues are leveling up their careers, but finances are holding you back in terms of taking decisions of these things. So what do the 25-year-olds of today really want? They want the real latest gadgets, an iPhone, an iPad, cool headphones, maybe a PS game, a console, dream holidays, say Bali, Amsterdam, or maybe Singapore, Malaysia, Europe. Freedom to make career choices when they want to take a break or they want to shift lines, and peace of mind. They want to be ready for any kind of emergencies without having to have literal shakeups. So what is it? So they look at these as not as luxuries, but these are goals that are worth planning. Yeah, you want something new, you plan for it. You want to go somewhere, you plan for it. You want a change of where you're working or in which line you're working, you plan for it. You want to be calm and safe during emergencies, you can plan for it. So there are three ways that you can pay for anything, which are part of your dreams. But out of these three, there's only one which is really the right way. So what have we seen all along till now? The EMI trap way. Buy now, pay later. But it actually becomes buy now, stress later. You pay extra. So it's like, hello, interest, I'm here. So there's a monthly pressure that you have to keep on. Buy today, you transfer it into EMIs for the next 6 months. Before that 6 months are over, you've bought something else, and then that rolls over to the next 6 months. So it's very easy to fall into a debt trap. And there goes your freedom to decide on other things. So what do you have in this? What does this way of paying give you? It gives you the advantage that you can get what you want instantly. But what's the disadvantage in that? You pay more because the interest hits you at every stage. And then you're spending beyond your means because you're spending what you don't have today. And you're not sure whether what you're going to be spending for and paying for tomorrow, will that income flow stay as it is today? The next option of paying is Papa's money, or Mama's money. So it comes from your parents. So it's like, okay, I can chill, I can pay for it, but it costs me nothing. So it's a no cost, no interest, no immediate pressure that you have to give that money back to your parents. But you get the risk of having to listen to what comes with that package. And it's not something that's sustainable forever. You can't be siphoning off money from your parents or using their money for everything that you need to do for yourself. So where is the you in that? So what's the advantage? There's no financial burden on you, but it's not sustainable because you're then constantly dependent on someone else rather than have it your way. So what's the third option? So it's the SIP way. You plan for it first, and then you spend smarter. You let your money grow. You invest small consistently. So there's no stress in the buying, and you stay in control. So what's the advantage you get from that? The advantage is over time, your money grows. So you have some wealth creation as well. And the added advantage is that it helps build you a certain level of discipline in all that you plan, especially in your finances and handling your money. And it helps you to enjoy the fruits of your own efforts, in the sense it is money that you earned and invested. And from that, you have bought what you wanted. So all in all, it's a package deal for you. It helps you to plan better. It helps you to take advantage of the money growing, so you don't have to pay extra on it, and you enjoy it on your own efforts. So your dream holiday is just an SIP away. So no credit card stress, no travel loan, and just smart saving. So how does this really work? So suppose you want to plan a holiday to Bali costing you 2 lakhs. So you start thinking in advance. You start planning in 24 months. So you start early, you start small, and you stay consistent over time. So what does this require? It requires a monthly investment of 8,000. So this is low impact, and you keep adding this month on month over 24 months, and then you use it when you've planned your holiday. The other option, you started thinking a little later than earlier. So you plan for a 12-month plan. And so you started a little late, but because of that, you might have to add higher. So it's like fast forward, but it's a higher load of monthly savings that would be required. So both these help you to plan better, but you need to understand what is the monthly impact that you can be comfortable. Both of this would take you to being able to finance your own holiday worth 2 lakhs. So the insight is here. Start early, it creates a more flexibility, and it also ensures that you're not too tight on your monthly requirements. So plan, pick your destination, pick a rough budget, start investing. Small is fine, but start on a monthly basis. Grow your money, and then while you grows, you wait. And then you book your trip and travel debt-free. So you have complete comfort on enjoying the holiday, and you would not have to come back from the holiday and say, oh, I'm going to be stuck for the next 12 months paying for this, because you've already done that in advance. So what's the advantage of starting early? In the first year, you can plan and pick up gadgets that you want without having to have a future EMI. In 2 or 3 years, you could have built up your emergency fund of, say, money that you need for the next 6 months in case you don't have an income because you've taken a break, or you've been laid off, or some kind of emergency. Then in 3 to 4 years, you can finance your own first international trip. 5 years down the line, maybe you would want to look at educating yourself further, so you take a study break or explore better possibilities, but you have the flexibility to do that because you've already created your buffer. And over a longer period of time, when you build in this kind of discipline, it creates financial independence for you so that you have the freedom to manage your money better and understand how it works for you. So every rupee that you invest today buys you future freedom. So every rupee is important. So financial freedom actually means it's not just having money at your disposal. It actually means you have a lot more options. It's not about being rich, but it's about having choice. So you do not panic in emergencies because you have a safety net. If it's a medical emergency, you have money to pay the bills. If it's a job loss, you have time before you can look for another one. If there are some urgent repairs or certain things that you need to buy for the home that you live in, none of them is going to knock you off in terms of a bank balance. So you don't need to fear career breaks. You want to study abroad, you want to switch career, you want to take time off, you want to learn something. It's possible to have that break because you have that safety net. And all of this can be done without having to depend on future credit. So you choose what you want to buy, when you want to buy, and do it on your own means without having to depend on future payouts. So basically, financial freedom is planned and it is self-financed. It's not financial freedom when you live on loan. So it cannot be loaned, it has to be planned and financed. So start now, start small, and your future self will really thank you for having taken those steps at the right time. So an SIP, however small you start with, it helps you to do stress-free buying, and it starts you on the journey of creating long-term wealth. Because time is something that you cannot buy later in life. Your goals, your gadgets, your travel, your freedom, they are all achievable with a little bit of planning. Start with even a small amount of, say, 500 a month, and the time that you give it will actually generate that big asset. Because you're young today, you have time in your hand. For someone who's already 40 plus, they have lesser time than what you have today as you are in your late teens or early 20s. You have a whole lifetime of career earning years in your hand still. So please make the most of it and start as soon as you can. And if you would like to start off with whatever you can to take the first step towards this, you can scan this QR code and connect with us over WhatsApp. And this QR code has also been there on the invite. So our contact numbers are on the invite. You can also get in touch with us. And I hope the session was valuable to you, gave you some insights, and we'll be ready to take some questions now. Anybody, any questions? You can type in the questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and we can take the question.
Hi, Aditya here.
Yes, Aditya.
I just had a small question actually. So initially when you talked about FOMO, that I understand absolutely, but the second question comes in, if you need it or if you don't need it, how do you exactly know that if you do or if you don't? Because for example, let's say my phone is in a really bad condition, but it can work for let's say another 5, 6 months. But then
Yes,
I will have to buy it after 5, 6 months anyways. So why not buy now?
that is true in terms of the requirement. But why not buy now in the sense, do you have access to the funds? Then yes, if you do not have access to the funds, then you need to plan for it. And like you said, if that phone is going to work and it's going to be okay to use it for another 5 or 6 months, then you have that 5 or 6 months to plan for whatever you need. So it's always better to plan in advance and then spend when you actually have to spend, rather than saying, I'll spend today and then I will see how I will pay it back in the next 6 or 7. Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah, true. Got it.
Any other questions from anybody else? See, of course, Aditya, the thing of whether you need it or whether you don't need it is something that's very personal for everyone. We have to learn to understand need versus want. I need a phone versus I want a phone. So I need to replace my phone versus I want the latest model. So one has to start understanding the differences between these. And this comes down to basic economics. Needs are something that you cannot do without. Want is something that is always desirable, but may not be necessary at this point in time. So go ahead with the needs and plan for the wants. That's what we're talking about today. So I want to take a holiday, so let me plan for it. I want to be comfortable to take my career break, so let me plan for it. On the other hand, like the current market situation is today, suppose you are laid off, then you have no choice, right? So that's when we say that you need to have your emergency planned, so that if that emergency hits you, where you don't have the notice period for that emergency hitting you, you already have your backup of say 3 to 6 months worth of whatever your expenses would be on your needs. So that in the next 3 or 4 months that you have in hand, you can look for a job without having to stress on your immediate expenses. But if you don't plan for that, then those expenses would become a problem when the emergency hits you. Right? So we don't have any other questions, then we shall close today's session. Like I said, you're welcome to reach out to us. You can reach out to me on my number, 96200-96201. You can reach out on our website, www.happyinvestor.in. And you can drop in a message on that website as well, and we shall get in touch with you. And of course, since you've got the invite, you have our details on that. So do reach out to us and we'll be happy to set you up on your road to planned financial freedom. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time off on Saturday morning. And we hope you had an insightful session and would take your opportunity to start off. We wish you all the best. Take care.